Good morning, everybody. This is Kathy with Premier Life and Annuities. Welcome to another We Mean Business campaign that we've been doing. Today, I've got a really special webinar for you set up here. I have Mike Zimmeretti on the phone with us. Good morning, Mike. How are you doing today?
I'm great, Kathy. Good morning to you.
Good morning. How's everything going over in your world in Florida?
Well, I'm in the middle of June in lovely Tampa, Florida, where it's jungle hot out there and rainy, and I understand you have some bad weather, I'm sorry to hear, but it's typical Florida weather, hot and
Wonderful.
rainy.
Oh, kind of jealous, kind of jealous. It needs a little bit of hot here. I'm kidding, we don't either. We have a lot of hot here too. Anyway, so you've got a great person on the phone with us that's going to be doing, going over some information on cause. Do you want to go ahead and take that away and explain that, what she's going to be talking about?
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much again, and welcome everyone to our WebEx and our continuing series of We Mean Business. I think this is one of the highest attendances we've had year to date. I can see well over, well, we had over 160 to 170 folks registered for today's WebEx, so we may not be able to accommodate everybody. But good morning, everybody. A belated happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Hope everybody had a great weekend. And welcome Monday morning to our long-anticipated WebEx with nationally known author Jackie Freiberg. For those of you not familiar with Jackie, she is part of a very successful husband and wife team. Her husband Kevin is a co-author with her on some notable works, and she is nationally known for the bestseller Nuts, N-U-T-S, which is probably appropriate in our industry, but it's a expose on the success of Southwest Airlines, their recipe for success in both business and personal success. And Jackie will explain to you how she came across the National Life Group and how she co-authored this with her husband Kevin on the book Cause. And just a couple of notes that I want to throw out there for you before I introduce Jackie is that I've been in this business for 28 years as both an independent agent, a career agent, and a wholesaler, RVP, coach, whatever you want to call me. And wherever I go, I'm always asked about, you know, why did the organization that I'm attached to, like in this case, Premier Life and Annuity, why did they partner with the National Life Group? Why are you guys so special? Is it your commissions? Is it your products? What is it? And I think in this case, for the 10 years that I've been with the National Life Group, I have always sought out a differentiator because we have so much competition out there. And sometimes, no matter how hard you work, sometimes it's a flip of the coin because the products are all the same or they seem the same to the consumers. And you know, how do you make a decision? How do you make a business decision? And what's in my best interest? And more importantly, who's this company that's taking my premium? Are they going to be around? Are you kidding me? Are they going to deliver on these promises, some of which sound too good to be true? Who are these guys? And as we get into the business owner markets where the premiums become more significant, those questions are really going to come at you as a producer of why have you decided on this particular solution with this particular life insurance carrier? And today's session of inviting Jackie Freiberg to talk about how the National Life Group has emerged from a sea of sameness where, you know, you've got all these carriers with virtually the same type of products. Maybe there's a little intricate differentiation here or there, but for the most part to the consumer, they all look the same and are confusing. How do you differentiate yourself? And today, I think Jackie's going to set, well, I know she is, she's going to shed some light on how she and her husband, Kevin, focused on the National Life Group and how really they gave birth to this, I hope to be another national bestseller, Cause. So without further ado, I would like to welcome to our WebEx, Jackie Freiberg. Jackie?
Good morning, and thank you, Mike and Kathy. I appreciate you setting this up, and I'm delighted to talk to all of our listeners. My understanding is you are a group of people who say we mean business, and I mean business too. So part of what I thought we could do this morning is just kind of give you a background of the work that we've done and why we do work in this space. And Mike, you set me up really, really well. There's a cool business book out there that's called Funky Business, and we grabbed it some time ago, and we grabbed it because we were drawn to a really important concept in that book. And the book really, in a nutshell, talks about the fact that we actually all live in a surplus society where there's a surplus of similar companies that employ similar people. They all have similar educational backgrounds, and these people come up with similar ideas, producing similar things at similar prices and similar quality. And that ultimately says that we live and we operate in a sea of sameness. And Kevin and I have dedicated our 30-year career to really finding companies that are trying to stand out from a sea of sameness, to differentiate themselves, to become a set of services, a set of products, a relationship that really is different from what is out there in the similar sea of sameness sense. You know, and we started this journey, Mike, as I think you alluded to, just about 28 years ago when we first got connected to a cool company called Southwest Airlines, which led us to really have access to a lot of different businesses. And I'm not going to start with my story about Southwest, but instead I'm going to talk about and start with a story about a guy who really did decommoditize a business that is very, very same. Tim Chasuli is the former CEO of Planet Honda, and he really commoditized the car buying business, and he did it through a couple of strategies. And I start with this because I think every single one of you in this particular marketing organization where you sell a variety of different products, I think it's critical that you think about your business in this sense. Have you thought about really trying to gain employees for life and customers for life? Mike, what do you think? Is that a strategy that would be helpful for everyone who's listening?
Well, I think it is, Jackie, because in this particular business, as with most businesses in sales, the current customer is first and foremost, but in establishing a solid relationship with them over the years, you can supply yourself with a continual supply of leads. Otherwise I always get asked wherever I go, how do the successful people do it? What kind of leads are they getting? How are they getting in front of people? And
Right.
I think if you get away from the transactional, I always say, it's called the Zemerittiism, for lack of a better word, that some people are just, what's the word I'm looking for? Just challenged. They're transactionally challenged is the word I'm looking for, because they're too busy product peddling, which I don't mean that's what the insurance industry has taught us to do. Here's this product, go sell it to everybody. It's good for everybody. It's great.
Right.
And then they walk away from these people, and mostly they're never seen again, particularly in the business world where 70% of business owners have no succession planning in writing. So I think it's incredibly vital to have a relationship for a long-term period.
That's good to know, and I think what we'll get to as we push through the content this morning is one of the mantras that we have really been passionate about is don't pitch products, but enrich lives. And I think Tim Chasuli is a great example of that. And you mentioned it in your response to me. Look, it's about referrals, referrals, referrals. Well, how do you do that? Well, Chasuli said, look, I want to be different from other car dealerships, not just Honda dealerships, but I want to be different from other car dealerships. So what did he do? He said, well, what's the same about this industry? And what's the same about the industry is, look, everyone loves the idea of buying a new car, but we hate the process of buying a new car because it's a transaction, and it's typically an elongated transaction of wheeling and dealing and negotiating and, changing the prices and all that kind of stuff. And Chasuli said, no. I don't want to do that. He said, look, I want to have employees for life and I want to have customers for life. If I want to have customers for life, I've got to create an enriching experience for my employees who will then create an enriching experience for our customers and our potential customers. So he said, I want all employees to look out over the span of what we do and how we do it. And what's commodity based about what we do? Well, what's commodity based is you think about buying a car, you drive onto the lot, and what happens? Whoosh! All these people come, you know, cramming out of one set of doors, and everybody wants to sell to you. And he said, let's change that approach. So when you approach Planet Honda, drive onto their lot, you don't get, you know, accosted by a series of, you know, hungry salespeople. Instead, you walk up to a kiosk, and what you'll do is you'll be greeted by a friendly receptionist who will say, hi, welcome to Planet Honda. How can I help you today? And what will you say? You will say, hey, I'm just looking. And so in the spirit of just looking, what happens is you actually get, sorry, my slides didn't go to where I wanted them to, you actually get a badge. And it's this badge right here. It's a yellow, bright, just looking badge that tells every sales associate at Planet Honda that you're just looking, so don't bug them. If you do happen to have questions and want to know a little bit more about a Honda, or you know, the pricing, or could you take a test drive, you approach a sales associate and then they'll ask you to kindly peel off that badge so that they can engage in developing a relationship to educate you more about a Honda. So in the spirit of that, what Tim Chisuli has done is he said, look, I want to create a unique experience for people who are doing business with us, and I want to create a unique experience for people who are working with me. One of the other things that he does to create employees for life, not just customers for life, is he says to every single individual who wants to come to work for him, what are your dreams? What are your goals? What's your big vision for life? Some of them are saying, I want to buy a home. Some of them are saying, I want to pay off college debt. Some of them are saying, this is just temporary. And Chisuli doesn't care. What he says is, he says, when you come to work for us and you engage in enriching our experience and customer experiences, then what happens is this will be a stepping stone to help you realize your dreams, to help you pay off that student loan, to help you, you know, plan for and buy a home, to help you plan a family, to help you, you know, get ready for that. So whatever your dreams and goals are, we want to help you get there. And when he does that for his people then want to do that for the customers. And what they say is, they say, look, we don't think that the acquisition of a $30,000, $40,000 car or vehicle is an insignificant thing. We know it's huge for people. So when you buy that vehicle, we want you and your family to board our simulator, which is, you know, kind of equivalent to a Disneyland ride. And they board this simulator, this spaceship, and they learn about Planet Honda. They learn about Tim Chisuli and his team, and they learn about the relationship that Planet Honda has to the earth, and they also, in terms of social responsibility, and they also learn about maintenance schedule and that sort of thing. Why do I share this story with you? I share this story with you because here's a business that is highly commoditized, and Tim Chisuli and his team have found a way to enrich each other and then enrich the customer in the journey. So they've found a way to stand out from a sea of sameness. The question is, they've become unforgettable in the hearts and minds of employees. They've become unforgettable in the hearts and minds of their customers. They have sold, they typically sell over 1,000 Hondas a year. His attrition for employees is less than 1% in an industry that tends to lose people on a monthly basis. So again, I share that with you in the spirit of asking all of you, what makes you unforgettable? What makes you unforgettable in the hearts and minds of all those who sell insurance with you and for you? What makes you unforgettable in the hearts and minds of every single individual who potentially may buy a policy from you, or every single individual who currently has a policy with you, are you unforgettable in their mind, or are you just another insurance salesperson? That's the question. And we started doing business, like I said, about 28, 30 years ago. And we started doing business with, in writing books about companies that are unforgettable. Our journey started with Southwest Airlines. They decommoditized the airline industry. Herb Kelleher and their team of renegades said, over 46 years ago now, look, we don't want to be just another airline that puts cheats in seats and gets people from one destination to the other. This group of founders of Southwest Airlines said, we want to decommoditize. We want to democratize the skies. We want to make flying affordable for all people, because 47, 46 years ago when they started, it was really expensive to get a seat on an airplane. The only way you could get one is if you were wealthy or if you were a business traveler. And they said that's just not the American way. And then we went to India and we learned about a company called Tata, which is a huge conglomerate. And they weren't about democratizing the skies, but instead in India, they were about democratizing the roads. They wanted to make driving affordable to all people, because if you've ever been to India, one of the things that you will see, which is a really startling thing to see, is families of 4 and 5 on motor scooters. And they drive through monsoons, and they drive through the heat, and they drive through the crazy roads of India like that. Why? Because that's all they can afford. So Ratan Tata said, I want to find a way to revolutionize the auto industry by making a car that's about the same price as a motor scooter, that will be safe for families of 4 and 5 in all weather conditions. So he democratized, and his team of engineers democratized the roads. And then fast forward to my experience with National Life. And what I will tell you is I started working with them about 4 years ago. And Mehran Asadi, the CEO, said to me in jest, but I don't think it really was in jest, he said, I want you to really get to know us, Jackie, because I think you're going to find that we're different. And I thought, you know, yeah, your insurance, how could you be different? And I sort of appeased Mehran. But I will tell you, the more I learned about National Life in the way that National Life is democratizing financial freedom for all people, the more I realized this too is worthy of a book. So we embarked upon a journey to write about National Life. And why? I'll tell you why. Because what we've experienced in working with many, many companies today is there is a tragic thing going on in many organizations. And that thing that's going on is this. It's dead people working. If you look at engagement statistics that are startling, but very, very real in the national sense, is most people that go to work today are just not engaged. They're not alive. They're not excited about being there. If you've read the Cause book, if you've read any of our other books, if you've read any of the Gallup work on engagement, what you'll find is people are going through the motions. They're physically present, but they're psychologically, emotionally, and they're intellectually checked out. Let me just say it another way. A lot of people think okay is okay, and we believe that okay isn't okay. And I want you to think about this. Look around. I want you to think about who you are and what you bring to work, or the people around you. Who are they and what do they bring to work? How many people do you think in your life, the people around you, how many people do you think are settling? You know what the sad truth is? A lot of people are settling. People settle into okay relationships. They settle into okay jobs. They settle into an okay life. And you know why? Because it's comfortable. Okay pays the bills. It provides a warm bed at night. It provides coworkers to have happy hour with on Fridays. But you know what okay isn't? It's not thrilling. It's not passionate. It's not the reason that you go to bed late. It's not the reason that you wake up early. Okay isn't life-changing, it's not fulfilling, and it's certainly not unforgettable. It's not what's going to help you decommoditize your products and your services. It's not a reason to think big. It's not a reason to act bold. It's not a reason to make a difference, and it will not create the kind of impact that you need to be unforgettable in the hearts and minds of the clients that you serve. So we're here to say that okay isn't okay. Okay is resignation. And we learned quite a while back from a guy that you all know that we should never, ever, ever let resignation kill us, because really, yours, not mine, but yours is a very, very special profession. People look to you to help prepare for unknown futures. Look, you know this better than I do, whether it's an economic challenge or whether it's life unexpected. You provide solutions that offer assurance to people, assurance that provides and paves the way for a better tomorrow. And who said that? None other than Mehran Asadi, the president and CEO of National Life. He went on to say, don't let resignation kill you, because you are a group, and if you affiliate, and as you affiliate with National Life, you are a part of do-gooders. So you have to recruit to a winning story, because that's what you're a part of. And that's what we learned, and that's why we wrote the Cause book, because we realized that this too is about democratizing the skies. This is about people who want to dream big and really want to help others dream big. And I think this is a part of helping people realize that they don't have to settle for okay. They don't have to be a part of the dead people working culture where we're just kind of going through the motions. We're stuck in routine. We are America, and what we've learned about America is this is the land of opportunity, and this is the land of dreams. But sadly, if you look at statistics out there, 80% of Americans don't do this thing called DQ. We know about IQ. We know about EQ, which is your emotional intelligence. We know about SQ, which is either your spiritual intelligence or your social intelligence. But DQ, although we might think it's Dairy Queen, it's not. DQ is your dream quotient. And sadly, today, 80% of Americans are not dreaming. And 20% of Americans are dreaming. But 14% of those 20 don't write their dreams down. The other 6% do. And those 6% are the people who realize their dreams and live big, bold lives where they are unforgettable and they are able to make a difference. And I think your business is a really, really cool profession, because you get the chance to meet and greet people who might have a day job, but they're just okay. Perhaps they've settled into resignation. You could be that individual who gets to know them and helps them think through a big, bold vision for their life, just like Tim Chisuli did with his people. What are your dreams? What's your vision? What do you want to accomplish in life? You're that person who could say that to clients and potential recruits who you want to recruit into your business. Clients who you think need to have a safety net for economic challenges or for life unscripted. It's an easy thing to do. You could ask people to create a dream board. You could ask people, if you don't think dream boards are cool, and that's past, and it was something cool in the past, but it's not anymore. Today the cool thing is a bucket list. What if you had people identify the 3 to 5 things they want to accomplish in life, and then you say, we've got solutions, or we've got, an entrepreneurial experience that could help you achieve that. That's what working for a cause is all about. And we chose to write about National Life because this is a group of do-gooders who really are interested in inviting people into a business where they believe they have a big, bold why. What you do is really cool, and that's the products and the services that you provide. That's the what. How you do it is, I hope, through enriching and not just pitching. And then the why is the big, bold, hey, this is more than just a product. This is about preparing for life unscripted and making sure that people are well taken care of so that they can continue to live a big, bold life and accomplish their dreams. Mike, what do you think? Any questions, any comments? I've been talking for a while. I don't want to just talk. What comes to mind for you, and what do you think our listeners might want to hear more about in terms of cause or anything I've touched on so far?
Well, Jackie, thank you for asking, because for those of you that know me, I've been extremely quiet. My attention deficit disorder, and I'm so passionate that I jump in and have a huge bad habit of cutting people off, and I've really restrained myself because Jackie has nailed this WebEx to the core, and I have a lot of things to say. I'll try to keep it brief because I want to hear more from Jackie, but I think that what you've seen so far is so compelling. And you know, I'm one of those people. I'm an ex-professional athlete. When I got into insurance sales, I really had a shock to my life, and then, you know, I saw how, you know, people treated me when they found out what I represented, and I was trained to be a product seller, and I didn't know what I was doing, you know, fact-finding wise, and I didn't package myself correctly, and I didn't have the knowledge to line up with the right carriers with the right solutions, because I was told when to sell it, what the price was, who to go see, and I wasn't myself, and it wasn't a passion. It certainly wasn't a dream. But Jackie, what I see in my profession, I try to change my title of regional vice president from a product distributor for a national life insurance carrier to a coach, to a life coach, to help people transition into this business from annuity sales or from health insurance sales or the senior market, or transition back and forth. And the biggest question I always get, and it always makes me scratch my head, I hear the lack of passion on the other line when I talk to some people. And they say, Mike, you know, you've been in this industry quite a while, and you seem like you really have a good finger on the pulse. How do I take my practice to another level? How do I make more money? How do I pursue my dreams? And I said, well, the first thing you have to do is you have to really market yourself as you market the carriers. You know, take yourself to another level, get passionate about it, and go out there and establish the why. You know, yeah, why people are looking at these solutions. Not, here's the solution, you need to buy it, and you know, and then next and next and next. That's not very fulfilling, and it's certainly not putting together relationships for any period of time. It's just consumption, commoditization. And I love your, you know, everything you've touched on. Yeah, it's not thrilling. It's not thrilling to go and talk about somebody's impending death. It's right. Not, people don't want to hear it, you know, right. But if you can go in and talk about life, what do we all have in common? We all want to live as long as we possibly can. Right on, we do. But unfortunately, I don't mean to be a buzzkill, something's coming to get us. How are you going to protect you and your family and still try to live as long as you can? That takes money. If you could get it in a tax-free fashion, that's great. But it takes money to really take on these illnesses and these accidents and these financial situations that arise. But what I love about what we're talking about today is chasing your dreams, mm-hmm, and becoming more aggressive with it gives not only you, but your clients and I love this phrase, it's not mine, I took it from one of my associates with the National Life Group, it's called the permission slip. Giving your clients solutions that give them the permission slip to be more aggressive in chasing their dreams. Like maybe they like to be more involved in the stock market, or maybe they want to branch out and do some real estate flipping, but they're afraid. They got the alligator arms in because, oh, what if, and what if, and what if this happens, and what if this goes wrong? And then you're back into what Jackie calls the okay. It's just, how's business? Well, that's okay. How's your life? That's okay. How's your financial portfolio? It's doing okay.
Yeah.
There's no passion, no excitement. And so I love everything we're hearing today, Jackie, and it just, as Mehran Asadi told me the first day 10 years ago when I started with National Life, he looked me in the eyes and he said, Michael, this is who we are. Are you a fit to our company? And then when you recruit people, because I pride myself to be a master recruiter, I know a lot of people, are they a fit? Bring people to us that are a fit. So back to you, Jackie. I just thought I'd throw all that in because this is phenomenal.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful that you did, and I'm glad that the content is resonating. And going back to the whole concept of, I love the permission slip idea. You know, be more bold in achieving your dreams. And I think as those of you who are listeners, you're in a business where you have people all around you who will experience life unscripted, life unexpected, life unplanned. 60%, at least if my numbers are right, I've heard from many people in your industry, 60% of us will experience life unscripted or unexpected. And so in the spirit of being bold and you know, brave in achieving your dreams, there also has to be some sort of provision in the event that life does happen unscripted. So I think part of what you can do as you're recruiting people into this industry, like Mike said, that are a fit. Find out, you know, are they dreaming big enough? Have they settled into a life of resignation? Is it just that they need to be woken up and awakened to an opportunity, an entrepreneurial opportunity that you can provide for them? I mean, this is about enriching not just the lives of your clients, but enriching the lives of people around you who might need, you know, a new work opportunity, a new career opportunity. So people will come to work for a cause, and you have to vet out whether or not they are a fit for this business. But then the other thing is what we've discovered in just the example of, you know, Tim Chisuli, people will buy for a cause. The people that were buying Hondas from Tim Chisuli were paying upwards of $600 more for those vehicles. Why? Because he was a cause and is a cause-oriented business and wants to have relationship with them for life and wants to make sure he paves the way for creating a Honda experience, a car experience that enriches them, isn't just a transaction, going back to where Mike started. So people will buy for a cause. Let me just give you a couple of examples. Apple, and we all know, you know, the founder of Apple, Steve Jobs, and since passed, but Tim Cook has really continued to perpetuate this strategy. But Steve Jobs was famous for saying, look, it's no secret that everybody wants to live a better and a happier life. I want you to think about that when you think about recruiting people into this business, when you think about recruiting potential clients. Everybody wants a better and a happier life. Boy, you've got products that can provide that. You've got entrepreneurial experiences that can provide that. And then Steve Jobs went on to say, look, when you come to work for Apple, what I need you to know is this isn't just about making and pushing great products at people. What Steve Jobs was famous for saying, and Cook has promoted it to the day, is he said, this is about enriching lives. And that's where we started. Don't pitch, but enrich. Southwest Airlines says, look, we want to do anything and everything that we do in this company with the heart, because if we don't do it with our heart, if we're not again going back to enriching, if we're not again going back to how do we stand out in an industry that is so the same and so commoditized, we're simply a machine, or we're simply a ticket from one destination to another. What they said is, they said, we want to be in the business of allowing ordinary people, middle America, quite frankly, the opportunity to go places, to see things, and to do things that they never dreamed possible because flying was way too expensive. So we, again, want to find a way to enrich, not pitch, but enrich. And what do? How do you do that? Well, I think part of what the gift that you can provide to potential new agents, to potential clients, is you can prove to them, show them, not show to them, but show them that you know so much about their business, about their family, that you know it before they know they need anything that you can provide. And I think what that is that's trust. A lot of people throw the word trusted advisor around, and I have to tell you from a real personal story, I bought life insurance because our trusted advisors told us 25 years ago when our first child was born, it was the responsible thing to do. And if I'm as candid can be, I will tell you I'm angry at this point in my life because I bought life insurance, but it's just life insurance that I have to die for my children to benefit from, or my family, my beneficiaries to benefit from. But we were not counseled by our so-called trusted advisor to buy anything that had a living benefits rider attached to it. And, you know, we have since changed that after we become educated in this particular industry through our affiliation and association and the gift of friendship with National Life. But we've changed that. But one of the things that makes me angry is that was my so-called trusted advisor, but really I don't know that I was counseled as I would have liked to be. And when I went to that trusted advisor and said, look, you know, I've learned about this new sort of life insurance, and some of the conversation back to me was, oh, you know, that's a relatively new product. And the cool thing is I could, you know, at least in an informed way, say back, not really, because as far as I know, this is a company that was founded in 1967, and I'm sorry, this is a company that was founded 167 years ago, and so it has been around for quite a while. In any case, I don't need to tell you my story, and you know.
But Jackie, if I may interrupt, I was saving this little gem, and you opened the door to it for all of our listeners. I always get asked as a coach, when I put myself out as a coach, how do I start the conversations? What do I say? How do I reframe what I do? And I said it's very easy, because I learned from a young lady in California that's absolutely having tremendous success. And I said, how do you do it? Because I want to pass it on to people in WebExes such as this. She goes, Mike, it's simple. I tell stories, I ask questions, I show interest in them that nobody else does because they're too busy jamming a product down their throat. But you know what? They can't say no to me, because the traditional showstoppers were, oh, you want to talk about life insurance? No, thank you. I have a lot. My ex-brother-in-law sold me a ton when he was with New York Life. What she says instead is, do you own life insurance? How do you feel about life insurance, yes or no? If they say, yes, I have plenty of it, she says, that's great. I want to sit down with you, and I want to redesign your program and bring it to modern standards. And then she tells a quick elevator speech of the living benefit story. And if the client says, no, I do not have life insurance, well, may I ask why? Well, I just don't like these so-called trusted advisors that I just feel like I'm being sold stuff, and I don't want to hear the back up the hearse, putting my obituary, you know, before it's time. I don't want to talk about death, dying, and did I mention death? Oh, well, let me share with you. I'd like to design a program for you with life insurance you don't have to die to use. And you've heard it, folks, this morning from Jackie's own lips to your ears. She was exactly in that position, and now she has seen the light and brought her own portfolio with her husband and her family up to modern day standards. So thank you for, this was an impromptu, we didn't rehearse this at all, it just came about with honesty, and thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, it's a real-time, real-life story, and no pun intended on that one. But I am just delighted that Now, not only do my husband and I have, policies that have a rider, but we have been so impressed with the product that we have gifted policies to all three of our children. Our son is 15, our middle daughter is 21, and our oldest daughter is 25. And the cool thing about this policy is, look, if they get sick, if they have some sort of a chronic injury, they can benefit from it. If they live longer than they expected, my kids are going to have a great policy because we invested for them so young that then
Jackie,
they can draw from it.
could we get back to the industry? And I didn't want to turn this into a sales pitch for the National Life Group. I think a lot of, that's my passion coming out, and I apologize for taking it that way. But can we get back to you being a professional author that has seen, I mean, you've seen a lot in your career. Why do our so-called competitors or other carriers, why are they not quick to follow these trend patterns where you still see other people still mired in the sameness? Why is that? Is it because you've answered the question if they hire the same people, if they have the same ideas and implement the same programs? Is that what it is, or are they just not forward thinking enough? What in your mind is going on there with the industry? Why does one carrier step out and really shine and the others are kind of ho-hum?
Well, I actually think the reason, I can't speak to the other carriers and the rest of the industry because I don't think I've studied them as deeply and as broadly as I've studied National Life. But what I will tell you is what I know about National Life is really they have been grounded, like I said, for 167 years now in, a cause. It's not just a product. It's not just the what they provide and then the transaction of how they do it. It's, look, we're in this because if you think back to the rich history and tradition, it was Dr. Dewey who literally was treating a man who died, and then Dr. Dewey needed to go back to this gentleman's family, his wife and children, and let his widow know that he had died and she had nothing, no provision. And so he then literally went through the streets of New England and educating people on the importance of some sort of safety net in the event that someone dies unexpectedly, or the mantra. So I think it's a company that, to go back to this T word, that has been founded and grounded in trust. And let me just unpack trust, though, just for a few minutes, because we throw that trusted advisor thing around so frequently, and yet what is it that drives trust? And I just want to give all of you out there who are thinking about, really trying to stand out in your industry and be unforgettable so you can in fact differentiate. What does it take to be a trusted advisor? Well, there are 4 primary drivers of trust. The first one is ability. Your clients, your potential, your agents want to know that you are competent and you are knowledgeable about the products and the services and the industry that you are in. You have got to be recognized as a credible, competent resource. So ability is huge. Second is integrity. And that's kind of a no-brainer. But it's not just integrity where, you're someone who, does what you say you're going to do and you follow up. It's got to be consistent. So your integrity has got to be consistent. People have to know that your word is your word and you're trustworthy. So integrity is second. Third is my very, very favorite, and that's benevolence. And benevolence, I think, is a very powerful word, because when you are recognized as benevolent in the hearts and minds of your agents and in the hearts and minds of your clients, what that means is you care, and you don't care about them because it's a transactional care. If you show them interest, if you ask them the right questions, they'll sign a contract and you've created the transaction and you're done and you're good to go. That's not what it is. Benevolence is transformational. Benevolence is saying, look, I want to get to know Jackie Freiberg and Kevin Freiberg. I want to know where they are today. I want to know what their dreams and their vision are for their future. But I want to stay with them every step of the way. I want to check in. And then as their kids start to grow, I want to get to know, are they all going to college? Are some of them not? I mean, are they getting married? Are they having children? These are the kinds of things where you're benevolent because it's the right thing to do. It's the American way. My husband grew up in Rapid City, South Dakota. And you know what they do in Rapid City, South Dakota, which is so similar to Nebraska, I bet in many ways, is you visit out there. You hang out and you have coffee, or you break bread together and you get to know each other. I think our society has become a society where busy has become over-glorified. It's so cool to be busy. It's so cool to have a schedule that you can't get on or you can't, break into for a few weeks. And I think that's a tragedy. I think people need to visit. Our deepest human desire is, believe it or not, to engage and connect with people. And if you can become the kind of benevolent advisor that really does visit with people. I mean, envision a rocking chair on a porch on a summer evening, drinking sweet tea or whatever a glass of wine, a cold beer, whatever it happens to be, and you're visiting with people. That's benevolence. So I think we have to think about creating and bringing a spirit of benevolence, not just ability, not just integrity, those are really important, but benevolence. And then the fourth driver of trust is impact. Impact is how you land on people, how you approach people, how you follow up with people, how you contract with people, how you tell your story. Impact can be positive, which is what you want as a trusted advisor. Impact can be negative. You can be aggressive or assertive or awkward. That's not good. That's negative. Or you could be questionable. And questionable in my mind is the most, is probably the worst kind of impact, because when you're questionable and people don't necessarily know how you're going to land on them, what your impact is going to be, then they make assumptions, and assumptions will create realities that may not be accurate, but they're certainly real in the hearts and minds of your agents, or they're real in the hearts and minds of your customers or potential customers. So really think about that as you think about becoming a trusted advisor in the hearts and minds of not just your agents, not just your clients, but the families of your clients, the families of your agents. Are you showing a sense of credibility, competence, and ability? Are you showing integrity? Are you benevolent? Really visiting with people because you want to, and transforming their lives, enriching their lives through that benevolence. And then what is your impact? Is your impact consistently positive? That's what it takes to become a trusted advisor. And I think those are four handles that you could hold on to as you start to vet out in your own mind and in your own business what you're going to do to become unforgettable in the hearts and minds of all those that you serve, whether they're agents or whether they're clients. Mike, what do you think? How are we time-wise?
Well, I think we're pretty much at the end of our slotted time. I think we probably should work to wrap this up, but this has been phenomenal, Jackie. I knew it was going to be a great WebEx from your end, but it was truly very eye-opening. I've got writer's cramp. I was making furious notes as I was listening to you speak because you're just so right on in the industry that we're in. Kathy Elkins, are you out there? Do you have any comments or questions from some of our attendees so far?
I don't have any questions from anybody that's online right now, but
comments from your perspective?
I do. I'm glad we did our webinar last time on the Y factor, because this puts this right into perspective. Everything that Jackie went over is just phenomenally answering some of the things that we talked about our last Y factor that we did. This explains a lot more in detail on what we were going through. So I've been taking a lot of notes too. My hands are really tired, so a lot of
Well,
great
Jackie,
detail.
any closing comments you'd love to share? We'd love to have you back, I'm sure, and we will. But if you have any parting pearls of wisdom for us, we'd love to hear them.
I would love to come back. So please, it's absolutely a delight for me to be with you. So just let me know what works, and also maybe just speak to the listeners who are here. What would they want more of? And then we can kind of design the webinar around what their interests and their needs might be. In closing, I would just say part of what I'm happy to do is provide a PDF that would be just a visual of the slides that I presented to you, and then leave you with a place to purchase the book. If you're interested in the book, you can certainly go to Amazon, but I would highly recommend you go to our site because you can buy the book in bulk and get better pricing than you can on Amazon. And then the other thing that I would be happy to provide for you is we were in Cabo and we were able to talk to the Conference of Champions and the President's Club, and part of what we did for that group is we provided, I think it was 8 different strategies on how they could use cause to help them grow their business. And you know, it's just things that are no-brainers to many people, but we also came up with just some clever and creative ideas on how do you actually, you know, build a relationship with the millennials who are thinking, oh no, I'm indestructible, you know, I don't need that. And yet what we're finding is millennials want to have a safety net and they do want to be prepared. And if you can create an experience for them, they will trust you and they want someone to trust. How do you become a trusted advisor for newlyweds? How do you become someone who actually can help a grandparent create $1 million baby by literally creating, you know, a policy for a brand new grandchild? So there's all kinds of ideas like that that we've learned from people who are all over the country doing this. They're not even our ideas, but we've been blown away at how people are using cause as an opportunity to tell the story so you don't have to tell it yourself.
You know, Jackie, I get asked all the time, you know, when we write some, you know, we do a lot in Middle America, and we write, you know, $100 a month policies, which we welcome all day long. But we go all the way up to some large premium finance policies and a lot of, you know, key man and business succession planning. And inevitably, an agent or an advisor just doesn't have the third-party material to answer the big question when the client or the CPA or the tax attorney looks in the advisor's eye and says, I have 2 questions for you. Number 1, why did you select this particular carrier to place this very large premium with? And number 2, why do you think, Mr. Advisor, that this carrier is going to be here to deliver on these promises, because we expect them and will hold you to that they will in fact deliver. What a great, nice touch to be able to hand that book to the client on a selective basis. I'm not saying that everybody needs to give it to everybody, but on a selected basis say, I'm very passionate and proud to represent the National Life Group, and I would like you to read this book because I think you'll get the idea when you read it cover to cover. So that's my you know, input on that. But I think we're out of time, folks. So Jackie, 1,000 thank yous, and I can only end with, you were truly unforgettable this morning.
Oh,
so,
thank you.
Thank you so much for getting up so early. And Kathy, as a partner with the Premier Life and Annuity Group, thank you so much for inviting us out for Monday. And I'll let Kathy close our show.
Thanks, Jackie. I really appreciate you being on this webinar with us, and thanks, Mike, for getting Jackie to agree to come to this webinar. Anybody, if you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call, 1-800-365-8208. Ask for your life marketer. Somebody did post up here, this is kind of funny, that the new model of Ben Feldman. I think that's pretty funny. So any questions, please give us a call. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.
Thanks, everyone. Take
Bye-bye.
care.
Thank you.